So you want to get better Rise Nations, but the guides that are already uploaded on YouTube aren't that good. Like, have you ever seen a guide video on 1v1s? I don't think you have until now. So guess what? In this video, I'm going to give you guys an in-depth analysis of an example 1v1 between the best Rise Nations player and a top 1v1 player in the game. And for some context, it'll be Spain versus Italy. There will be no rules attached to it except for no leaders, no generals, and no forts, just to minimize RNG. And there will be no truce time as well, so either player can invade each other whenever they want. But before we get into the analysis, I first have to tell you guys about a Discord server that has just been opened recently. It's a competitive Rise Nations Discord server where it has everything you guys need, spanning from guides, events, tournaments, and there's even a ranked system, meaning the top player with the highest rank or ELO will win prizes at the end of each season. Now, I'll link the Discord server in the description, but let's get ahead to the 1v1 analysis. Now, I'm playing as Italy and I'm playing against 42, who's playing Spain, and 42 is a really good 1v1 player. And so what I did at the very start was I justified on San Marino and Monaco just because it's basically straightforward from normal public servers, you know, for extra money. I usually go no policies because at the end of the day, there's no policies you really need other than like policies that reduce factory costs. But you could get factory output policies, but I don't recommend that because more money isn't necessarily that good. I'd rather have more manpower. For example, you get limited faster if you don't go any policies. I'd rather you get limited and get more manpower rather than money, because if you think about it, there's a heap of countries around you. For example, the Balkans, you have 4 micronations next to Italy that you can have for money. So you don't really need all of that money because you're going to get, you know, a big trade either way. Because in this example 1v1, I had a trade income of 25 million, which is more than enough. Right, 42 probably had around 40 million, 50 million, which is double than what I have. But you don't really need that much because what are you going to spend it on if you don't have any manpower, right? And so I started invading France, Germany, and I started justifying on the Balkans around me just for that extra money and population. And I did get limited here. Yep, I'm close to getting limited, so I'm just going to focus on that. And so since I have ISR on, so ignore safety regulations, I still have to make an excess amount of factories just so once I turn that policy off, I don't go into a deficit of consumer trades. So I want you all to pay attention to what Spain or 42 does here to France. So as you can see, he's currently invading France, but any second now, France turns back to blue, but Spain still has Paris. Now what 42 did right here was he did a special type of treaty that only pieces out Paris, but keeps the remainder of France to the AI. Now, why did he do that, you may ask? Well, if you think about it, your spawn point for your units is determined on the highest population city that you own. So, if Italy were to take Paris and wants to spam out tanks, everything that it will create will spawn on Paris, meaning it will invade Spain quicker. So 42's game plan was to just prevent that from happening in general. So he took Paris before me. Now, since I know how 42 plays and since I invested all of my research into tank tech, I knew that regardless if he had Paris or not, my tanks are still superior to his. And I knew that even if I take Germany, it means that I will still have my tanks spawning in Berlin compared to Rome, since Berlin has a higher population. And taking Paris, it just does nothing since I'm going to have the rest of France. Now 42 is trying to make a landing in Italy, and so you might be asking, but Blizzard, where's your navy? Why would I need a navy if I'm going to be winning on land regardless, if that makes sense? Yes, they might try and make a landing since they have, water, but I can always prevent the landings from happening in the first place. So this is what I do right here. I send my tanks over to prevent his landings. So his navy is practically useless. He's also going to get an air force any second, but what's the point in that as well? Now we're entering the middle phase of the 1v1, and so every 1v1's middle phase is going to be different, and it's best for you to decide what to do in the moment, since every game is going to be different. It's not going to be exactly the same as it's being played out right here, and so it's best for you to decide what to do on your own. But in the meantime, enjoy the gameplay. That'll be all for this short 1v1 guide. Let me know what other guides I should do, and be sure to join the Discord server since I'll be posting more guides there, and I'll be hosting some tournaments and events in the future if you guys want to come along and get better at the game.